If your spouse claimed Social Security early, before they passed away, there is a hidden rule that could be capping your survivor benefit for the rest of your life. It's called the widow's limit. Some people call it RIB-LIM, and almost nobody talks about it. Not your neighbor, not most financial advisors, and honestly, half the people who answer the phone at the Social Security office don't fully understand it either. Today on Tyson Retires, I'm breaking down exactly how this rule works, who it affects, and the one age you need to know if you're a surviving spouse, because claiming even 1 month too late could mean you're leaving money on the table for no reason at all. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand. Let's get into it. Before we dive into the technical stuff, let me tell you why this topic matters so much. Studies show that roughly 1 in 3 widows or widowers end up affected by this widow's limit rule. That is not a small number. That's millions of Americans. And most of them have no idea it exists until it's too late to do anything about it. Here's the thing about Social Security. Normally, the longer you wait to claim, the more you get. That's true for your own retirement benefit, and it's normally true for survivor benefits too, all the way up to your full retirement age. But when your spouse passed away after already claiming their own benefit early, say at 62, 63, 64, that changes everything for you as the surviving spouse. Suddenly, waiting longer doesn't always mean getting more. In fact, past a certain point, waiting gets you absolutely nothing extra. If you're a widow, a widower, or you're currently married and thinking about claiming early, this video is for you. Because remember, when you claim early, you're not just locking in a lower benefit for yourself. You may be locking in a lower benefit for your spouse too, for the rest of their life, after you're gone. Okay, let's simplify this. There are basically 4 scenarios that determine what a surviving spouse can receive. The first 3 are actually pretty simple. It's the 4th one where the widow's limit comes into play. Let's go through all 4 so you understand exactly where you fall. Scenario 1. Your spouse died before their full retirement age and before claiming any benefit. Let's say your spouse passed away at 55, 58, even 66, but they never filed for Social Security. A lot of people panic here and think, oh no, does that mean I get a reduced benefit because they died young? The answer is no. Social Security assumes your spouse would have waited until their full retirement age to claim. So as the survivor, if you wait until your own full retirement age to claim survivor benefits, you can receive 100% of what's called their PIA, primary insurance amount. That's just the fancy term for the full benefit your spouse would have gotten at their full retirement age. Scenario 2. Your spouse died after their full retirement age, but before they claimed. Maybe your spouse was planning to wait until 70 to file, because waiting past full retirement age earns what's called delayed retirement credits, extra percentage points for every year you hold off. But they passed away at 68, before ever filing. In this case, you as the survivor get their full retirement benefit plus whatever delayed credits had built up to the month they passed away. Social Security essentially honors the fact that they were in the process of delaying. Scenario 3. Your spouse delayed claiming and passed away after they filed. Say your spouse waited all the way until age 70 to file, locking in the maximum possible delayed retirement credits, and then passed away at 72. In this case, you get everything they were receiving, delayed credits and all. If they filed at 68 instead of 70, you'd get everything built up to age 68. So scenarios 1, 2, and 3 are all straightforward. Bing, bing, bing. As long as you, the survivor, wait until your own full retirement age to claim, you get 100% of what your spouse earned or would have earned. Scenario 4. Your spouse claimed early, and this is where the widow's limit kicks in. This is the scenario most people don't see coming. If your spouse claimed their own retirement benefit early, anytime before their full retirement age, and then passed away, you as the survivor are now subject to the widow's limit. There are 2 critical things to understand here. Number 1, if you claim your survivor benefit early, before your own full retirement age, you're going to take a reduction. Just like claiming your own retirement benefit early reduces it, claiming a survivor benefit early does the same thing. Number 2, and this is the part most people miss, your survivor benefit can never exceed the amount your deceased spouse was actually receiving while they were alive. You are capped at what they locked in. There is one small exception involving an 82.5% minimum floor, which I'll explain in a few minutes. But generally speaking, if your spouse took a haircut by claiming early, you inherit a version of that haircut too. Let's make this real with actual numbers, because I think this is where it clicks for people. If you were born in 1962 or later, Your full retirement age for survivor benefits is 67. Here's how your own survivor benefit reduces if you claim early, assuming your spouse waited and there's no widow's limit involved. Claim at age 60, you get about 71.5% of the benefit. Claim at age 62, about 79.6%. Claim at age 65, about 91.9%. Wait until 67, your full retirement age, 100%. Every month you wait between 60 and 67, that percentage climbs. That part is simple. This is exactly like scenarios 1, 2, and 3. Now here's where it gets interesting. Let's say your spouse claimed early, at say, 63 in a few months, and locked in 85% of their PIA. They took roughly a 15% permanent reduction. Now they've passed away, and you're the surviving spouse. The most you can ever receive is 85% of their PIA. That's your ceiling. No matter how long you wait, you cannot go above that number, because that's what your spouse locked in for themselves. So let's walk through your own claiming ages against that ceiling. Claim at 60, you get 71.5% of their PIA. Claim at 61, about 75.8%. Claim at 62, about 79.6%. Claim at 63 years, 3 months, about 84.7%. Claim at 63 years, 4 months, you'd theoretically hit around 85.1%, but you won't because that's higher than the 85% ceiling your spouse locked in. You get capped at 85%. This is the moment. 63 years and 4 months is your widow's limit in this example. Waiting beyond that point does absolutely nothing for you. If you wait until 64, you might assume you'll get 87.8%. You won't. You're still capped at 85%. Wait until your full retirement age of 67, thinking you'll get 100%? You won't. You're still stuck at 85% because your spouse capped you out the moment they claimed early. So in this scenario, the smartest move is to claim your survivor benefit right around 63 years and 4 months. Not a month earlier, and definitely not any later, because there is zero additional benefit to waiting past that point. Now let me tell you about a strange little loophole that most people don't know about: the 82.5% minimum floor. This rule dates back to the 1970s. Back then, the earliest claiming age was 62, and the full retirement age was 65. At that time, someone claiming their own benefit at 62 would have received about 82.5% of their full benefit. Fast forward to the 1980s, Social Security raised the full retirement age to 67 for younger generations. But here's the catch: they never updated this particular floor. So today, if your spouse claimed their own benefit at exactly age 62, the math actually works out so that you, as the survivor, are guaranteed at least 82.5% of their PIA, even though 62 is now further away from full retirement age than it used to be. In other words, if your spouse claimed at the earliest possible age of 62, you might actually end up in a slightly better position than if they'd claimed just a year or two later. It's a quirky historical leftover in the rules, but it's real, and it matters when you're calculating your own widow's limit. So here's the big takeaway, and I want you to really sit with this. If you're currently married and thinking about claiming your own Social Security early, at 62, 63, whatever the reason, understand that you're not just affecting your own monthly check. You could be putting a permanent ceiling on what your spouse receives after you're gone. That's a decision that outlives you. And if you're already a widow or widower whose spouse claimed early, please don't make the mistake of assuming waiting longer always means more money. That is true in almost every other Social Security situation, but not this one. You need to know your specific widow's limit age, because claiming even a few months past that point is money you're simply throwing away. It doesn't come back. The good news? This isn't something you have to calculate by hand or guess at. A proper Social Security maximization report will factor in the widow's limit automatically. It's built into the formula. You just need someone to run the numbers for your specific situation based on what your spouse actually claimed and when. If you've lost a spouse, or if you're married and want to understand exactly how your claiming decision affects your survivor's future benefit, this is exactly the kind of thing I help people work through every single week. Comment below and let me know, did you know about the widow's limit before this video? Or is this the first time you're hearing about it? If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, because on Tyson Retires, we break down exactly this kind of hidden Social Security rule every week. The stuff that isn't in the pamphlet and, honestly, isn't always explained clearly even by the Social Security office itself. And if you want a personalized breakdown of your own situation, your specific widow's limit age, your maximum benefit, and your ideal claiming strategy, Drop a comment or reach out through the link in the description, and let's get your numbers run. Social Security is complicated enough without hidden rules like this one catching people off guard. My goal with this channel is simple: give you the real, practical breakdown so you can make an informed decision, not a guess. Thanks for watching Tyson Retires. I'll see you in the next one.